In everyone's voice, you can hear their whole life story and even probably their ancestors and all of their unprocessed emotions, all of the tension in their body, everything about their life. Their voice, your voice holds like an energetic signature of who you are, and it changes. And the beauty of that is that as your voice changes through your life, as you heal or maybe you don't heal, or the tension gets more intense or stronger when it comes to, your patterns, whether they're healthy or not, the voice will change. And as you do your somatic work, your emotional healing, we just lost electricity, but we're still recording. Hopefully it's not too bad. As you continue with your work, your healing work, your life on earth as a human, your voice does change, and it can get better and it can get worse. I mean, nobody's voice sounds bad. Whenever somebody's voice maybe doesn't sound pleasing or the person doesn't like it, it's usually because there's some emotions or tension or memories trapped in there, or waiting to be resolved. So I have been so transformed by this vocal awakening method that I'm now sharing and teaching, and I'm so excited to be giving this and offering this to people, because it's completely transformed not only my emotions, my relationship to myself, but also my voice. So I've always loved to sing, and just within the past few years, I started singing when I give therapy in the water. If you're new to my channel, I live in Holbox Island, and one of my biggest passions is to hold people in the water and give them somatic therapy and healing. And I sing to them in the water, and the water is a big activation in the throat and the voice. So now I'm incorporating voice work, vocal awakening method, included with the water therapy in person. But online, I'm offering these vocal awakening method sessions. Actually, this Thursday, there's going to be an 8-day container. It's at an amazing cost, $22 for all 3 classes. It's this Thursday, so I'll put the link in the description, and we're going to be doing this method. So if you've ever been interested in opening your voice in a more feminine way, a way that doesn't control the voice, a way that liberates the voice and uses the voice as a teacher and a guide to heal and help you heal and release emotions. So we work with parts therapy. So if anybody's familiar with IFS therapy, we're going to go into that. And it's basically like giving the parts of ourselves that aren't expressed, or that maybe are abandoned or forgotten about, or don't trust us, or feel afraid, or feel angry, or feel sad, and don't feel expressed. A lot of them can be child parts, giving those parts a voice. And a lot of the time, the sounds that come out aren't so beautiful. And that's what we want to be released, because that's what's weighing you down and maybe making you feel tired or feel drained or feel unhappy. So this specific container is and my signature offer is geared to support women that have been overgiving for a lot of their life, and you probably identify with yourself as somebody who has a lot of medicine, somebody who's very good at helping people, curing people, taking care of people. Maybe it's with your family, maybe it's with your work, however that looks for you. This is for the woman that is doing this right now in her life and has been for a while, but it's been draining her. She's not necessarily happy with how she receives from this. You probably don't receive from it. You probably feel drained. You probably feel tired, and you don't feel that you are receiving. And maybe you're not used to receiving. So the Luminous Door is an opportunity to start to walk down the path, a new direction, basically changing directions of how you've been giving your energy, and to who, and what that exchange looks like. And now you're declaring over these 8 days with me and the other women in this container that you are going to change your life's work, and you're going to create with your beautiful attuned gifts that you've been developing, maybe in a way that hasn't been serving you in a little bit of an unhealthy pattern, but now you're going to use these beautiful gifts to help other women, other people. It doesn't have to just be women, but you want to be helping people in a healing way, whether that's facilitating wellness or being a teacher or being a guide or working with people in person. But the most important part is that we're going to make sure that now you receive. So now your cup gets filled so that when you give, you feel alive and you feel excited and you feel full of joy and inspiration to do your work. And this is related to my life story, which I shared a little bit about in my last video. I'm going to keep talking about it, but this is like how I was shaped, and I had to spend 30 years of my life caring for my mother, and she died, unfortunately, 9 years ago. But I spent my whole upbringing taking care of her, and it was traumatic for me. It was very sad, and there was a lot of loss of my childhood. And not only have I been able to work through these parts of myself with this voice work that I do and the water therapy that I do in person, but I've been able to direct my codependent skills towards a new life path. So when I moved to Mexico 5 years ago and I started down that journey of like, now I want to be a healer. Now I'm going to study yoga. Now I'm going to study Thai massage, Thai medicine. Now I'm going to study EFT tapping, Ayurvedic nutrition, all these different things. And then when I finally found water therapy, I found what was for me. So the Luminous Door is an opportunity for you to take that leap of faith and just be like, now I want to create a new life for myself. Now is the time. Enough is enough. Only you know when it's enough. For me, it was when my mom died 9 years ago, and I just realized that, life is too short. Like literally in a blink of an eye, like your mom can die, your dad can die, your pet can die, your child can die. Not just death, but you can die, and you can have not done the things. You can have lived a life and not done the things that you wanted to do, like travel or study that thing or play that instrument or talk to that person. So the Luminous Door is an opportunity for you to wake up and to stop saying tomorrow, maybe next week, oh, maybe when my resume looks better, oh, maybe when I studied more. And the whole thing is that you need to develop, you need to find and start to cultivate that inner compass that's within you that maybe you've lost connection to, and developing that and finding and creating your unique medicine. So as we move into my deeper work, this is what I help women with as well, to really narrow down, like, who am I? What is my specific unique medicine, and how can I use that to transform the world and also fill me up? So for me, it's singing, the voice, sound, and water. So healing people in the water, singing with my voice, singing with instruments, DJing house music, all kinds of sound I love, and I've been able to narrow that down. But that took me 5 years. So that's what we work on in my deeper work, is really like getting to the essence of who you are in a much shorter period of time. So you don't have to spend 5 years and hundreds, and maybe not hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on different trainings and trying this out and trying this out and trying this out, because I always wanted to be a healer, but I never got to become a healer until I moved to Mexico. And I thought that was the biggest decision, and it is. That's a huge decision, and that's what we're doing in the Luminous Door, is the decision, deciding, now I'm going to do it. I started studying Ayurvedic nutrition. I started to walk down that path, and then eventually that year I moved to Mexico, which was a huge leap of faith. Didn't know anyone there. I met a few people, like expats, but I didn't really know them, and it was a huge risk. So rather than spending years and studying and trying to figure it out, with the signature offer, with my deeper work, we get to that essence much quicker. So the Luminous Door is where you make that decision, where you decide, no more, and you decide to start to unwind these patterns of overgiving, you're still gonna keep them. You're still gonna be you. Like, I will never not be me, because the way I was raised was so fundamental to who I am that I'll never just be like somebody who had a mother and a father that were happy together and they weren't sick, and there wasn't money problems, and I like a perfect home. I will always be shaped by my upbringing, but it's what I did with it. So what I did with it was that I was able to transform it into a way that fills me with joy, fills me with purpose, that makes me feel alive. And when you know, and when you find that avenue that gives you energy, that excites you, that makes you get out of bed in the morning, that's all we need. And when you have that purpose that makes you feel happy, that lifts your day, what more could we ask for, right? So you are invited, and sending you lots of love, and I hope to see you soon, and much love.